Hi, XNE.
Good.
How are you?
Doing all right. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great in here, just loving life. Everything is going great. We talking about leveling up our businesses and growing, building exposure. But I'm here for you. I'm trying to figure out what is Enter the XNE.
All right. So, Into the Zone is the full, more official name that I've given for all the things that I do at this point. Originally, XNE, Zone is how it's pronounced instead of being like ZONE, XNE, because I thought it was cool.
I like it.
Uh, but yeah. So XNE, that's what you'll see on like any of the things that I have that are me. It's probably easier this way. Uh, and so on. So. Yeah, that's me as a musician. So as a musician, I'm Zone. So Enter the Zone is the LLC that is overall arching for me as a musician as well as everything else that I do within my artistry. From that, we then go into me as a model. As a model, I'm also Zone. So whenever I do modeling related things, you might also see, Zone is walking, doing random runway thing, honestly anywhere within the South or sometimes in France too. So it just really depends on
Oh,
whoever reaches out to me.
wow.
So that's cool. But also Into the Zone is even more so a bigger thing now because I'm releasing a connection-based game called Connection, but it's CNXN. I also like some of the mock-ups for them. I just ordered a large order. I spent so much money on this order. I just got entrepreneur stuff. When you start in a newer thing, that initial order is gonna hit you real hard in the wallet. So I got a big order of these card boxes. There's a lot of those card games like We're Not Really Strangers or like what's that other game? Or the Skin Deep. Like these little card games that are typically for friends or couples or people in general that want to get to know one another better, right?
Right.
Well, there's a lot of issues that people run into with those games, and I decided to make one that kind of solved those problems, but also made it a much better game. Like for example, one common problem people run into with those games is the questions kind of start stacking up on one another. So you get one question from one part, one question from another part, another question, and they're all the same damn question. And you're like, damn, I could have just answered the one question and not wasted all these other cards on that, and so on. And when you have a full box of that, because I used to buy those games, you buy multiple boxes and you realize, damn, inside this box, sure, the box might say it's 100 cards, but every four out of that 100 cards is going to be the same thing but different words. You're only really getting 25 cards. So you feel like you're wasting your money. So the way that I set my thing is to be honestly overly competitive because originally the full set of cards was going to be 360. I reduced it down to 300 because manufacturers were not willing to do that. So now my game is made to be on the friend level, on the dating level, and on the couples level. Each level is made to feed into one another, so you won't get cross questions. Like a question asked here is the same as another question there, or another question there. Each question level is made to grow into one another, so couples can ask the questions from dating as well as from friends, and of course, people that are dating can ask friends and dating, but couples wouldn't be relevant because they haven't been together long enough. But each of these things are made to feed into one another, and each question is a unique question. So you won't ask any question from any point, and that question is answering another question from another point. In other words, every question that you ask is going to be a unique question, and you get a whole hell of a lot of them. So when you're getting to play this game, you're going to foster a much more deep connection than is typically what you will get with these other games that are made by other people, which is what my game is made to be. It's going to be a little difficult, I will say, though, competing with the market because that We're Not Really Strangers and Skin Deep have a huge monopoly, damn near, or duopoly
Okay.
in the market. Just they've been out here for the longest.
Oh, I'm
But
not familiar with the game market.
okay, okay. Well, yeah, card games they're a common thing for folks that are like dating and whatnot and want to use those terms, or people that are in relationships and like to ask questions with one another to get to know one another better and
That's
think about things they
cool.
haven't. So yeah, it's a it's a very cool endeavor, and it's connected to my overall thing of intimacy, which just is something that's all throughout a lot of the things I connect. I mean, this sweatshirt, this hoodie rather, is one of my things. This is my Falling for You hoodie. Snatch Your Soul is also a thing that's through a lot of the things that I do. So Snatch Your Soul, caps and hoodies and tank tops and
Oh,
shit like that. Uh,
wow.
and we even got the little gender neutral one with the Snatch Their Soul and whatnot. But yeah,
Oh,
intimacy is a thing to me, and not just the music that I create, but also in the products that I'm putting out, including now a relationship game.
Mm.
So yeah.
I love it. So intimacy is kind of like your core vibe. You know, you're given intimacy in the card game and then your music. Tell me about the intimacy in your music.
Yeah, so as a musician, I try to create art that is in its own space, so to speak. It conveys a message, emotion, story that's distinctive and that's to a degree, I would say beautiful, but I do find a lot of imperfection in beauty, so that's its own thing. But I try to make art that is nice to listen to
Mhm.
and it's pleasant. Now, does it stay in one genre? Not the best. Uh, I make alternative R&B music, but I also compose classical things. So on one day, you might get an EP that comes out for me that'll be very R&B. This is clearly R&B. I like this. This is R&B. This reminds me of Black, blah, 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 right?
Right.
But then another day, you might listen to something and it's nothing but classical music that I've put together. Uh, on one day you might catch me at an open mic playing guitar, and I'll be doing that. On another day you might see me with a rain stick and my steel drums, or you might catch me at somebody's house doing djembe if they're doing like a house jam session or
Ooh,
something. Like I play a
wow.
bunch of instruments. I create as an alternative R&B and classical. So when it comes to the music that I actually release as a producer and as my own mixer, my own master, or so like all my music from me is gonna be start to finish made by me. It comes out a little different each time, just based on what I feel like releasing, honestly. Especially since most of my music comes from my dreams. So I'm literally just like, this is what I thought, this is what I saw, this is what I heard in the actual experience within the dream. Wake up and make it. Like you could ask my shorty, I literally have a piano up under my, well, a little mini MIDI under my bed, as well as the full piano inside my room. There's a guitar right here. There's another guitar. If I turn this around, let me see. Can't, oh no, I do that. There's another guitar over there. Like, yeah, music is a thing that comes to me naturally. So a lot of the music that I create is music that comes from me. Yeah, either stories I've been through or like literal stuff from my dreams. So obviously, I experience those in my dreams, and they sound like that too sometimes. Honestly, the outros be crazy. I will say the outro is about to be real crazy. This next couple projects that are going to be releasing the last couple weeks of this year.
I, I don't know where to begin. I do want to tell you immediately, Zone, that you are a true musician. I got to go ahead and give you those flowers immediately. You are a
Thank you.
true musician. It ain't on you, it's in you. Seriously. I'm talking about you dream the music and then you create it from scratch, you know, as soon as you wake up. I mean, literally with
Yeah.
each and every instrument. My God, man, that's amazing.
Eh, for me, it came naturally. So I recognize now that it is a normal that is not normal for everybody to just play and mix and master their own stuff as well as sing all their stuff out and then do all of their vocal processing and all of that. But for me, it just made sense. Like if I'm gonna make the music and I want to be connected to the music I create, then I need to learn how to produce. If I'm gonna be producing, I might as well learn how to properly mix when I'm producing so that my mastering is easier. And why pay somebody to master when I could learn to master and then I do the mastering? A, because being an artist is expensive as hell. So cool. All
Exactly.
right, bet. Learn how to do my mixing and my mastering and my recording and all of that. So I do all of that myself in house. Bet. But now that I've got all these things, playing one instrument isn't very useful when you're producing. So I learned another instrument. And for me, the way to learn a new instrument is just to spend the money on it. That way I'm like, damn, well, I already paid this money for this thing. I might as well learn how to use it. So it's cool. Every new you
Might
get a
as
new instrument
well.
because you feel like you wasted money otherwise. And I don't like wasting money.
Million
So it
dollar millionaire Barbara says, just like Prince, he said you're a very gifted guy.
appreciate
Hmm.
that.
I'm sure a lot of people will want to work with you. Shet Lecrae is on the live. She says she wants to collab with
Hey,
you. You also
DM,
mentioned, hmm?
I was saying DM me, yeah. Tell her to DM.
DM
Well,
him. Yes, you also mentioned that you were a model and you already, I see that you have an amazing spirit. So I definitely want to make sure that you tap in with the official Dre Day 3.0. He's also in the chat. He's having a gala, a fashion gala on December the 21st. You want to tap in with him, to see if, you can get on his stage. He is definitely doing his thing out here with events, and I'm sure he would love to have you. Just amazing. Your music. You are a very talented gentleman. You seem very humble. It looks good on you.
Thank you. And as far as modeling, I have been modeling. Let's see, I'm 25 now, so what, 7 or 8 years now? I started, yeah, 7, 8, yeah, 7 years. So if you want somebody with a good walk, I can do that.
That's right. It's the humble brag for me. You better go ahead with
Yeah.
yourself. Now, let me tell you something. I want to know where people can find your music because I already know it's busting.
All right, so all the normal streaming services, so Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, all of those things, you can find my music. On my website, my music is there too. But I will also note there is going to be a member section that I'm going to let be live next year. A lot of my songs, I'll make them and then I'll have the version that goes out for everybody. But there'll be the version that I have that'll be just for me because either I like it this way or it'll be an extended version of certain songs. So like there'll be a whole different outro with a whole different beat or two that'll be there with the song. I'll also sometimes will have like alternative beats for a song that I wrote out, or I'll do an acoustic version of the song, but then I don't like it enough to the public, so it only stays for with me. This coming year, I'll actually be making that section of my website because I do try to put it somewhere just in case anything happened with my computer. That section will also be accessible. I think the price that I wrote it down for was going to be like $5, just like to have in general. But that's the access. It's not going to be like a subscription or no shit like that because subscriptions are annoying. But yeah, you'll just be able to then access all of the thingies to be like I'm like a little supporter or member or whatever through my website here. All of the things and have access to like a private set of exclusive merchandise back there as well, and yeah, other little perks and whatnot too. So that's the thing down the line. But yeah, on my website, enter the zone. So enter the XNE.com. And of course, for my music, just in general, that's also going to be enterthezone.com, or on whatever streaming service you use, just search XNE. And if you want to listen to things that I make just for Instagram, because I also do that. There's some songs you'll see on my Instagram that will be like singing stuff live, or it's produced and made look cool, but it's just what it is. Only made for Instagram, never going out. I got like another 2 songs that I'll be releasing on Instagram in December, as a matter of fact, that are just gonna be only for Instagram. The most 2 recent posts are also just for Instagram. Like I do that sometimes. So yeah, y'all want to hear some of that? You can also check out my Instagram and enter the zone. That's just that. So enter the XNE.
Wow. You are just a wealth of talent, Zone. I gotta tell you. Do you find that your followers and your customers are just infatuated just with your talent, your inspiration, your creativity?
Infatuated feels very strong, but people do seem to like what I do. I'll say that at least.
Listen,
Like,
I'm going to go ahead on and be strong. Just because I'm listening to you and I'm looking at the comments, and even Millionaire Barbara just said so many gifts. I understand you are humble, King, but the flowers are at your feet right now. I am telling you that I know that your viewers, your followers, and your customers are enamored, with your creativity, your style, your gravitas, your humbleness, and you're so many talents, and I know they just infatuated with your music. So yeah, I can definitely see them, purchasing, even a subscription if you wanted to, but the additional package to have access to the unique music that you create just for yourself, that just sounds amazing. So they know that they are one of the few who have access to something that's so close to you.
oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. I
You're
want to make sure
welcome.
that check out the things that I make as an artist. Don't just get some random person that puts out the music that makes them nod their head at some random point, or
Yeah.
is but they're like, oh yeah, this music really hits and makes me feel away or takes me to a place, hence the name Zone. But yeah, I want to be like this. I connected with this music in a level beyond just the music was decent or the music was different than the way other people are making their music right now. And I'm glad to be able to do that in the music I create or help, even in the little cute little merch I make. Like follow a few, I feel like this is cute, or
It's
all those
nice.
things. You know, you got to snatch a soul here and there. Sometimes we grown, as well as the you know, which is connection. Speaking of which, if people check out my website and they do want to have access to connection, since I just made the big order of all of them, so they're not here yet, they'll be here later on, like next week. I do have a little connection release sign up form that I put on my website for the connection landing page. So if you go to there, you'll see connection, and then you'll be able to look at more about how the game is made and all of the things and how you can get your order and all of that, and some example cards too. So if you're interested in that, just ask for an email or phone, and I'll literally just send you one message once they all get here, so I can be like, "Hey, yo, the games are in. Here's how you put in your order," because I'll be, you know, packaging them and shipping them out myself.
Right. Good
So
for you. And I love to see it. And I will definitely support you. Make sure you DM me all and send me all of the different promotional material you have so I can go ahead and share it with my fan base as well. I support you, King.
appreciate you. I
You're
got you.
welcome. You guys have to tap in with Zone and everything that he does by going to Enter the Zone. That's XNE. Enter the Zone. My guy, he has had his own game, clothing line, amazing musician, modeling. Come on, he's just getting started because he's still got in his youth. Okay, so he just getting started. So support this young king, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Zone.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, dear. Anytime. Congratulations to you. My goodness, just so many talents, this young man. All right, guys.